Hi, everybody, and welcome to Talk to Me Tuesdays. It's your girl, Anja, and today I'm here with a true boss. She is the best basketball coach in college that I know. I mean, she makes history every time she steps onto a different team's court. She's truly amazing, and she's nothing to be played with in her college careers playing ball. She played in 117 games. She started in 59 of those. And of course, she ended her career with 531 points, okay? And she had 222 rebounds. So she got all the steals as well. And when she's not doing that, let me tell you, she has turned the world into her runway with her fashion. So please help me me welcome Candice
What's up,
Walker.
everybody? I'm excited to be here.
Yes, yes. How are you this
I'm
morning?
I'm great. Just thrilled. We got our first game on Monday, so just getting prepared for that. But besides it, I'm great and a great feeling.
Okay, so where's your love for basketball come from?
I think it just comes from being around like cousins growing up. One of my favorite cousins, his name is Brandon. He introduced me to the game by just going to like the basketball courts, and then it kind of just took off from there. With my dad putting me in basketball, probably I had to be probably like 7 or 8. But put me in my first camp, and I was like ready to go. So
You
since
were
then,
hooked.
it's been like it's been full throttle since then. So and I still had a love for it. It's just been able to take me so many places that I never even imagined it would take me. So very thankful for it. And it's the reason why I coach. It's just to give back to the game that has given so much to me.
So at what point in your life did you take it super seriously? When you were like,
Um,
I know that this could take me far.
Probably when I started playing like AU basketball.
Mhm.
It like just give me a different like outlook of how far the game can take you. Like, when I was playing AAU, like you would go to like these national tournaments where you would meet, different basketball players that are your age all across the world. So it just gave me an outlook. It was like, wow, this can actually allow me to travel. Wow, this can actually allow me to get a full ride, and get a free education. So it just gave me a different outlook. Like once I started playing like travel ball.
Nice. So what was college like playing in
Um,
the college level?
College was great. I think like for me, it was kind of is another reason why I coach it because it was kind of cut short due to injuries.
Mhm.
I tore both my ACLs in college, which sucked.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah, which sucked. And kind of, I had a promising career when I first started. You said all the accolades from like my freshman year. But after that, I kind of started getting injured and wasn't allowed to just play the game that I love to play, which is another reason why I still wanted to kind of be around it, now that I'm in my career, which, allowed me to become a coach. But, that although it was like, heartbreaking and kind of devastating because I love to play the game. It just gave me a different, and again, another outlook that I could still be around the game and give something different, but it would just be in a different position. So I started, due to injuries, I started being like kind of a player's coach. And, my coach at the time, he allowed me to, help guide, the younger girls on my team, especially because, I mean, they used to call me grandma because I got like 2 richer years. So it just allowed me to kind of lead them and guide them to be successful on the court.
I love that. So, you know, as an athlete, those injuries really can like take your life places you didn't expect in the worst ways. So what would you say to anybody who like is faced up against like that kind of injury that literally changes your life that you didn't even know you were gonna like,
Yeah.
have to sit down from whatever sport they have to play?
Yeah, absolutely. I would just say, like, if you truly love whatever sport you're in, like, don't give up because there's still ways that you can be around the sport, whether it be, I don't know, coaching, being a manager, getting into the compliance field, which is basically like, you still work with the women's basketball programs, maybe getting in media to be around it as well. I've seen like a lot of that I recruit nowadays, like they are interested in the media side of it as well, especially because like it's like a social media era. So they love to take pictures. Like that's something you can still do and be around the game. So I would just say just don't give up. And like there's still, different opportunities to be around whatever sport that you love to do.
How were you able to see the light at the end of the tunnel during those surgeries and all of the rehabbing.
It was hard. It was hard, and I always like say like I probably could have did a little bit more. Like, I just wanted to play. So like, the rehabbing and all that kind of stuff, I was like, I'm really not into this. But I've seen people go through the stuff that I go through and really put the time and the effort into it with getting back, and they actually succeed, right? And I think everybody can do that. But I think the biggest thing is like just keeping the mentality of like if you really want to, still be around the sport and still do it, like that's what you have to do. But for me, it was tough. Because like I said, I had been playing probably since I was 7 or 8. And it was like heartbreaking for that to be taken away. But it also allowed me to, although it was heartbreaking, it also allowed me to, get a master's degree, which I never thought I would be able to do. Right. So, I kind of just took advantage of the opportunities. It allowed me to be in college for 2 more years to really figure out my life. And like I said, to get my master's, but it also put me in a mindset of like what was next after college. I wasn't like, so like sometimes you get racked up in just being a student athlete, right? And you don't take the next steps to prepare yourself for what's next in your life after you leave college. So I think that allowed me to figure out what I really wanted to do and what I really wanted to, be when I wasn't a student athlete at Loyola. So it just allowed me and gave me time to really figure it out.
No, that's a really good point because a lot of athletes
Yeah.
definitely don't have a what next moment because like it
Um,
is hype and you get loved on and everybody loves you and then it's like you graduate and you're like, wait, what am I doing?
Absolutely, absolutely. I see so many people go through that. And I think more so like when I was coming up and when I was in school, it was like you don't know what you're doing after college, right? Now I think like a lot of the kids that like even I recruit, they have just so many opportunities and they're connected to so many people. And I feel like social media kind of helps with that. Some people look at social media as a bad thing. And I look at it as a bad and good thing because it can help you in some ways. And I think it's definitely, help kids be able to figure out what's next after college.
Absolutely. So I think anybody who like plays sports growing up or is in some kind of like athletic program, there's always a coach that kind of like makes a huge impact on their life and they like are forever grateful for that coach. Do you have that?
I do. I would say like I'm still, I mean, I recently worked for my head coach, Joe Logan, um, 2 years ago. And then I'm still close with him. I still talk to him all the time. And then, he put up with a lot of the stuff that he probably didn't have to put up when it came to me. So I'm always thankful for that. And then my position coach, her name was Alicia Mosley. I still talk to her as well. It's funny because like now that I'm coaching, I see them like on the road recruiting and coaching as well. So I still have that relationship with them. And if I need anything, I can always, go back and talk to them.
Love that. How is it like how did you become a coach? Like what does that even mean? Like how did you
Yeah.
you're at such a high level. How did you not end up at like a kids YMCA
Yeah.
coaching?
So after college, I think like I didn't want to be a coach at first because I was like, the sport, it takes up a lot of your time. And it took up a lot of my time as being a player. So I kind of was like, man, I'm ready to like wild out. Just, But my high school coach, she had gotten a Division II job in Delaware, and wanted me to come and coach with her. And she was like, look, I don't have much money to offer you, but um, I would love for you to just come check it out. So I went and checked it out and I like fell in love again with the game. But it was just a different feel. Like I was able to like teach, players what I like needed to listen to and kind of learn. So it just gave me a different feel of like being a leader. I've always been a leader when it came, to the game, but it just gave me a different, outlook and a different way to be a leader. So that's kind of how it all got started. I was there for 2 years. I was making like $400 at the time a month. So it was a struggle, but my first year I like commuted from my parents' house, which is in Baltimore, Maryland, to Delaware every day.
You
And then
did.
yeah, it was crazy. And then my second year, I was like, I really want to do this, but like I know I gotta like figure it out. So that's when I kind of tapped into my other love, which is fashion. And that's when I started working at Nordstrom in Maryland. And then I got promoted and got a personal stylist job through Nordstrom in Delaware. So I would like be a personal stylist during the day and like coach at night and vice versa.
That's so
Um,
cool.
yeah, it was a lot of work. But it was good because it was like I was doing what I loved in both areas, right? Um, and then from there, like I got, you know, an opportunity to go to the University of Massachusetts after being at Delaware for 2 years, and I was a director of ops. So a director of ops basically does everything but be on the court. You basically are like the liaison between compliance, and you set up all the travel, all the meals, all of that kind of stuff. You basically do a lot of stuff for the program behind the scenes that, you know, coaches don't do. So I
Did you
did that
like
for a
that?
year. I liked it, but the part I didn't like is that like I couldn't be on the court.
Yeah, right?
Oh, like it was kind of like a lot of like for me, like kind of like not busy work, but I wanted to be on the floor teaching. So I did a year for that, and then I was actually promoted, rehired. Well, we had gotten fired at my first year. But I was rehired and promoted to assistant coach. So from there, kind of took off. I was assistant coach and recruiting coordinator, and I've been recruiting coordinator at the three different institutions that I've been at since. So it's been a roller coaster, but it's awesome because I've gotten to play, you know, every role that a person would play besides, you know, being a head coach. So it definitely, you know, allowed me to see everybody's position and experience that.
So coaches do kind of move around a lot from
Yeah.
different like places. What is that life on like a personal life level life? Yeah, to like have
Yeah.
to, you know.
It's hard. I think it's like for me when I first started it, I loved it because I was young and like I didn't have no kids. I wasn't in a relationship. I mean, I still have kids yet, but I'm about to get married. So now I kind of have to take into account like what's going to be comfortable for him as well. Right. So for me, like, you know, being closer to home, like me and my fiance are both, you know, the only child. So, you know, we want our parents to be involved in our lives and, you know, in the future in our children's lives. So being closer to home is like, you know, one of the biggest things for me now that I've grown up. I think when I was young, I was just like willing to go
You can go
anywhere.
anywhere.
I mean, I remember I applied for a job in Wyoming. I was like, now I'll be like, nah.
No.
So I think, you know, you just you know, the older you get, I think you're more conscious of the decisions that you make, especially when it's involving other people. I think when
Absolutely.
I was younger, like I was like young and ambitious, I would go anywhere. And my parents would come visit me, but now I have to take an account of, you know, my fiance and his feelings and where he's going to be happy, where we're both going to be happy. So that's just the harder part of getting older.
Yeah, I feel like a coach would have to have a partner that really understands
Yeah.
because you don't work like a 9 to 5. You're like
Right. Yeah.
mornings, nights. How does that work in a relationship?
Um, so I've been fortunate, like the person I'm marrying is like one of the most supportive people ever. And he like supports me wholeheartedly in what I do. He like is like, do what you got to do, babe. Like we'll figure it out. And so I was actually at Loyola, Maryland, which is my alma mater for a year. When I was home in Maryland, but then I got the call here, and I came here, and he was so supportive. He was like, you know, it's only a 2 hour train ride, so he comes up on the weekends, takes the train, or I'll go down when I can. I also recruit in that area a lot, so I get to see him when I'm back, you know, back home for work or recruiting. But you know, right now we're doing a long distance relationship, and we're getting married in June. So you know, from there we're hoping that, you know, we can make that next step and live back with each other again because it is hard doing long distance. But we did it for 5 years while I was at, you know, UMass. So I mean, I think it's the most important thing is it's like in this business you have to have somebody that wholeheartedly supports you, and I've been blessed enough to be able to have that person in my life that truly supports me, that comes to my games, comes to different events with me. And I do the same with him. His job is different than mine. He works a 9 to 5. So, but I understand that like when I'm free, he might not be free.
Yeah.
Or, you know, when we go to certain tournaments and I want him to come, he might not be able to do that. So, I think it's a balance between us. And in our relationship, balance is a lot. We're both Libras. So, like things can't be like unbalanced with us.
Yes.
And I think we do a fairly decent job of just, you know, the communication piece, because that's a big part of, you know, making everything work. It's just the communication.
Yeah, from the outside looking in, I really do like your relationship. I just think you guys are your biggest cheerleaders, and I just love to see that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So I another thing is you are a leader anywhere you go. You have a way of like loving on your athletes and
Absolutely.
them loving and pouring back into you. How do you
Absolutely.
do that? Like, is there a trick? Is there a secret? Or is that just you?
I think it's just me, but like anybody that knows me, like my best quality being a coach is probably like how I build relationships. So
Yeah.
like I'm the type of coach that's like it's not just all about basketball with me. Like I want to know everything about you. And I want you to know everything about me. Like I'm not shy about hiding, my life. Like I want them to know who my fiance is. I want them to know that I'm going to this concert, or like I want them to know me as a person, because I feel like it just makes everything easier. Especially, I'm a tough coach. So like I demand a lot. So, when I demand a lot as a coach, they understand that like that's me wearing my coach hat. That's not me. That's me
Yeah.
wearing a coach hat. And that's why I have to be in that moment, because I built a relationship with them. So they understand it and they don't take it personal, right? So I think, for me, like the biggest thing is like I always build relationships, and I always show them that I love them. Like I'm gonna be there for you at your highest and your lowest moments. I'm gonna take you out to eat. I'm gonna have you over for dinner at my house. Like I want you to be involved in my life, because we're a family. We spend so much more time with like coworkers and our players more than we even spend with our families. Like I see them every day. I don't see my fiance every day, so um,
Right?
I just make them understand that like it's just not about basketball when it comes to me. Like I want to know who you are as a person. And I think that they appreciate that. They appreciate somebody, that truly cares about them as a person, and not just what they can do for them on the floor, So that's the biggest thing for me. And I think it's worked every place that I've been at. I've been able to gain the best relationships with, you know, current players and previous players. I mean, it's players that I've coached when I was at UMass that I'm still close with today.
Hmm.
They if they're ever in New York, a couple of them are from New York. So if they're ever in New York, they come on my house, have dinner. It's just
Yes.
for me, it's all about building relationships and helping them be better women, and setting a good example for them as well.
So there is sometimes this way of thinking that I forget people have because I'm also like a female athlete and I
Yeah.
sometimes am reminded that we're not really welcome. Like they don't really like respect always
Yeah.
female athletes and it's always kind of like
Right.
so what do you think about not that long ago there was a coach that was wearing whatever she wanted to wear during a
Hmm.
game and
Hmm.
people had something to say about that. So you're into fashion, you're into coaching. How do you think about what you're gonna wear? Do you think about it? Do you think are you scared that somebody's going to be like, that's too sexy for the, game?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
No, I'm like me.
Okay.
Like you're gonna get what you're gonna get, man. I mean, obviously I'm gonna be professional and presentable, but I'm also gonna be me, and I'm also gonna add my flair to everything that I do and everything that I wear. And I've been, like I said, I've been thankful enough to work for, coaches that understand who I am and that have never tried to change me and that support who I am. So no, I'm not gonna like, I don't think about that. I think about, am I gonna look nice, presentable? Am I gonna be, I still want to be sexy because that's who I am.
Hmm.
But I'm also gonna be classy. And that's just who I am. That's how I present myself on every level. But I also want to be relatable too. So that's just who I am, and that's how I am. I don't think about that kind of stuff, man. I'm gonna be me.
You're
If
like,
I
I'm gonna
can't
be me,
be me, yeah,
period.
if I can't be me, then it's not for me. So
Right. In 2019, you were awarded what kind of thing? It was like 30 under
under
30.
30,
Want to talk
yeah.
about it?
So it's basically an award that's presented through the WBCA. The WBCA is basically a program that, I shouldn't say program, but it's basically like women's basketball. So like when we go to the Final Four, like they organize all of the events. They're a big part of it. So basically they every year they award 30 like impactful assistant coaches that are under the age of 30. And basically they form this list and people get to vote for you. So I was a part of that list, which was awesome. I think uh for me, that's one of the goals that I had for that year, was to be on that list. So to achieve it, it was great. It was a great experience. We got to like basically call your name, give you an award. You also get to meet, a lot of, prestigious people within the business of women's basketball. And it basically allowed you to also to network with people to help you be better in the business. So it was a great experience. I think that was like it had to be the final four like before COVID, which was crazy, like the year before COVID. So yeah, it was a great experience. I'm very thankful for it. Something that I can, that stands out on my resume. And I'm appreciative of it as well.
Okay, you got to give some fashion tips. Tell me
Yeah.
about more about your fashion life. How do
Uh
you put things together?
I don't know. I just think it's
Did they
like,
teach you at Nordstrom's?
no, no,
No.
no.
What do they teach you to be a stylist? Like, what do
I
they
think
say?
I think well, they really don't teach you. They like I think it's more of like when I was at Nordstrom, I like learned my customers and I built relationships with my customers. So I
Yeah.
knew what they were kind of looking for, and then I would just add my little twist on it. Um, and I'm actually like still close with a lot of my customers that I had at Nordstrom, which is crazy. But no, I don't have
You're
any like,
like a magnet. Everywhere you go, like
oh, it's
people just
crazy.
feel your vibe and just want to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm just like chill, but I'm fun. So that's
Yeah.
but I think no, I don't think that I have any like I like nice stuff and I like to I don't know. I just like to put stuff together. Like I'm a creative person. I get that from my mom. My mom is like very creative. Like she like
Hmm.
is so creative and like fashion has been like a part of our lives ever since I was younger because my mom's into it. So,
Oh, okay.
and my dad, both of them. But like for me, it's like I just like what I like. Like I like colors.
You
I like
just see it
black.
and you go for it.
Yeah, it's like if I see it and I like start like calculating like how I want it to look or like what things I want to pair with the outfit or like sometimes I'll do like because I'm in like I said into like fashion. So like sometimes I'll do like something that's expensive with not expensive and kind of mix it. So I just, when I see it, if I like it, I gotta get it. Sometimes I have like I'm the worst, so I'll be like, I'll get that later. But then I'll be like, nah, I gotta get it now because I don't want to miss out on it, right?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
no, it's no secret. It's just like I see it. If I like it, just get it.
All right. So, who is your biggest? I know we already talked about your fiance, like holding you down. But is there anybody else that is your biggest support system when you're like, I hate my life, I hate what's happening right now, like everything sucks? Who do you call? What do you do? Who
My
is it?
mom, my mom,
Your mom?
like this. That's my girl.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been through everything together. So, um, I talk to her every day, like every
Oh,
single
perfect.
day, probably like 3 times a day, like every day. But yeah, like if I ever need any, advice or like anything, like I go to her about anything. And like, when you're younger, I always laugh because like when you're younger, you always try to go against the grain. But like
Totally.
everything that she's ever taught me, like I now understand why.
Hmm.
So I think, I know for sure, like that's the person. Like if anything going down besides Dawn, like my mom. My mom
Yes,
for
yes.
sure. Yeah.
Moms are
Oh my
fantastic,
God. The best. The best.
right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's my girl.
So, do you ever see yourself coaching in the WNBA, or do you just like the college? What are you
Yeah.
thinking?
I think I like just the college.
Okay.
Cause I like the like not saying that you can't do that at the WNBA level, but like I like to like help, players like evolve as like
Yeah.
people on the floor and off the floor, right? And I think the college level allows you to do that because you're with them for 4 years.
Oh,
Whereas
that's
you're in the
true.
WNBA, maybe somebody gets traded, they're not there. They've kind of already went through the trenches of like, growing. I feel like on a college level, like you really can get a kid that has come from like nothing or knows nothing, like and really transform them into being, this different person when they become a senior or junior in college. So I love the college level.
Does that mindset come from your background and where you grew up at,
Um,
or
I would
how
say
does where you
no.
grew up help you shape how you
Yeah.
see things?
So I'm from Baltimore, right? And I'm
Hmm.
from Baltimore City. I think like I've always seen grind. Like I've always seen people work hard. Like my mom worked hard, my dad works hard, like my grandma works hard. Like everybody in my family has always worked hard. So I think that that has shaped me to be, somebody that wants to like work hard. I think the sense of like me wanting to help people just be better just comes from like probably when I was in college. Like I had coaches that were there for me, but like on the level that I'm there for my players, probably not. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So like I guess for me, it's just having a heart. Like I just want people to be better. Like my mom, like I said, impacted my life a lot and showed me how to be better. And like, I was one of the first ones in my family to go to college. But that's the standard that my mom set for me, so I think that just carries on to me with my players, and it'll carry on to me with my kids as well. Like I just want to help people be better, and to understand that like sometimes you put in this box where you can't see what's next, right? Or you don't know like how you're gonna get to college. Where well, there's a sport for every person, or there's different scholarships for every person to be able to experience the life that they want to live, and that nobody's like nothing's impossible. Like that's a
Nothing's
big thing. Like nothing's
impossible.
impossible. Like you can achieve anything you want. It's just about the people and the people that know you, or the situations that you can be in, or the different opportunities that are given. So that's why I feel like I just like to just help. And I always like every day I pray, I always be like, God, use me, like put me in situations to help
Ooh,
other people. So that's always
yes.
been one of my biggest things. Like it's just to help people.
What a prayer so much bigger than
Yeah,
yourself. That's amazing.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So you just gave some really good life gems. I'm going to
Yeah.
swing it back to the beginning when you said basketball has taken you so many different places. You want to talk about any of the places that you like that you never thought you would be?
Yeah. So
Yep.
I never thought I would um go to Italy. It took me to Italy,
Italy. Ooh.
Rome, Florence. I think I went to like all the 10 different cities um
Yeah.
in Europe. And where else? I've been to Portugal. I never thought I would live in Massachusetts. I lived in Massachusetts.
Facts.
Never thought I would live in New York, and I live in New York. But yeah, I just was in Toronto last week.
Oh, wow.
Um,
For basketball?
yeah, for work. So I was recruiting out there.
Very
So
cool.
I mean it takes you. I went to New Mexico. Um, where else have I been that's like just different? I've been everywhere like with this game. Um, so it's been cool. Like, and I think we're going on a foreign trip this after this year. So I've been able to like go out of the country for free, which has been dope.
Always good.
Which is dope, and just experience like different cultures and stuff. So it's cool. I mean, I love it. I love it. I love to just like go to different places and see different lifestyles and different cultures. So it's been able to take me, a ton of places. And I mean, I love living in New York. I never thought I would live here, but I do love it. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Like anything you want to do in life, you can do in New York. So, which,
Facts. That
which
is
is what I
true.
love, which is what I love. So it's fun. It's good. I love it.
Well, give me your last words of wisdom. I know this whole thing has been such a treat, but if
Yeah.
you have any last words of wisdom for anybody who's trying to be a coach like you or trying to be a basketball player, especially a female basketball player in the college level, what advice would you have?
Um, don't settle for being good. Be great.
Facts.
That's something my mom used to tell me all the time, and I wish I would have listened, but I didn't. But like some in life, like people are gonna tell you, like, oh, you're good at this, you're good at that, but like you don't want to be just good, you want to be great. So that means like even though you might be good at something, there's always room for improvement. So like just continue to be the best you can and work at your craft each and every day, and don't settle. Just keep
Don't
grinding.
settle.
Don't settle.
Thank you so much, Candice. It has
No
been such a
problem.
pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this. And I'm happy I could be on.
Awesome. You guys have been watching Talk to Me Tuesday. It's your girl Anja. Oh, do you want them to follow you anywhere? Is that a
Yes,
thing?
follow me on Insta
Yes.
at
Okay.
clutch
What is it?
at clutch underscore 23.
Do you still have your clothing line?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout my clothing line out. It's been lacking, but
Okay, go ahead.
Clutchwear is coming back. My Insta is at Clutchwear. We sell hoodies, t-shirts, hats, all of that good stuff. It's been lacking because I'm getting married,
We
but
getting back. We gonna get back
we
to
will
it.
be back in full effect next year for sure.
All right. As always, guys, you know I'm gonna drop it down here so it's easy to access that information and follow her and get her merchandise because it's lit. And so once again, guys, you can follow me at it's your girl underscore Anja. Once again, it's your girl underscore ANJA. And until next Tuesday, check out Candice, buy her merch, check her out. And yeah, like, subscribe, follow. All the cool kids are
Yeah.
following and subscribing. So yeah, anyways, bye everybody.
Yeah.